Live and tungsten light. Happy Monday. Mondays with Misa here. It's my dog, my wire-haired pointy griffon. She brings me joy. So, hey Andy, you ready to start talking about joy? Let's get it. I came on here like 30 seconds early just to get everybody pumped up, get ready, get in a comfortable spot. Get your iced coffee, your iced water, your iced tea. If you want a nice drink, since it's hot outside, at least it is here in the Seattle area for like once. It's been really nice a long time lately. So I'm all jacked up on joy. So I hope you're ready to talk about joy with me. Hey Karen, hey Julian. Okay. So, I think the first thing that I'm going to have you guys do is make sure that you have something to write with if you want to take notes. Like, if anything that I say or, like, ask is like, like, you need to, like, maybe think about it, like, later on, please, like, have something handy because I took weeks, I think, like, maybe almost a month compiling this joy method and like brain dumping, and so I feel like I'm gonna throw up all over you guys, so I hope it's not too much. It's a lot of stuff. I have like 6 pages of notes. So the first thing I want you guys to do is I'm gonna give you a choice, and the choice is you could either do it or not do it, and what I'm gonna ask you is to get up and do 10 jumping jacks with me, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Okay, yeah, get a little bit blood flow. So this is obviously not going to be a full-on workout mode. But you guys know me, I like working out, I'm passionate about health and fitness, that's a crucial part of what we're gonna, talk about a little bit, so anyways, oh my god, it's starting now, well, like diarrhea of the mouth. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you guys about, let me get my notes up here, so you guys are on my phone, I have my notes on my laptop right next to it. So anyways, the joy method. So I love acronyms. I'm a super nerd. I've loved acronyms since I learned about how to do them in elementary school. You do your acronym, like your name, like S is for, A is for, R is for, A is... Okay, so I love acronyms. I love matching up words and letters and stuff like that. So, JOY stands for jump over yourself. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about jumping. We're going to talk about over as in overcoming. We're going to talk about you, yourself. Okay, those 3 things. So we're going to chunk it all down. And so also, what got me started with this topic of joy is a dear friend of mine, I think it was Christina Jagels, she posted this on David Breckheimer's wall. And it was a quote, Bob Goff quote saying, "When joy is a habit, love is a reflex." So joy is one of my words and love is one of my words for the year. And so when I saw those 2 words in a quote, I was like, when joy is a habit, love is a reflex. And then my first question was, how do I get love to be, or how do I get joy to be a habit? How do I get this like part of my like life into like, my world, into my lifestyle? And so that kind of got me thinking, what do I have to do on a daily basis to create the habits of joy, And so maybe it's going to be easier said than done. Yeah, a lot of things are. So I'm going to give you kind of like the hows, and I'm going to have a lot of questions in here. So like I said, if any questions kind of stick out and it was like, that question is interesting, I need to really reflect and digest on that. That's what this is here for. So I hope that this is helpful. So anyways, so let's start off with the actual dictionary definition, because I just love looking up dictionary definitions of basic simple words that we use every day, right? So the dictionary definition of joy is a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. Okay, yeah, I'll agree with that. But I think let's take it a step further, and we have our own definitions of words, what they mean to us, how they make us feel. And so I want to share with you guys my definition, or I would call it more of how I experience joy. And so I kind of like wrote down like a little like statement of when I think of joy, this is kind of what's going through my brain. And so my experience of joy is a true moment of pure bliss. My heart flutters, my skin tingles, and time seems to stop. It's a feeling of calmness, peace, and ease flows through my mind, body, and soul. I'm able to take a deep breath and soak up all the gratitude for the great life I'm living. So that's like encompasses joy. So challenge yourself on creating your definitions of what you want in your life. I want joy in my life. Well, what does that mean to me? What does that look like to me? And so that's kind of my definition, my experience of joy is what I'm after. You're not going to be able to feel like this 100% of the time. We're all human beings. So write down kind of, what your definition of joy is, if joy is something that you want in your life more of. And another thing is nobody has it all figured out. I for surely don't have it all figured out. This is all practices. This is all work. It takes work. It takes hard work. And we're all just trying to get a little bit better every single day, right? Just a little bit better. It's baby steps, right? And so my first question for you is, what is your big goal right now? Like, do you have a big goal? If you do, name it, write it down. If you want, put it in the chat, put it in the comments here. And I love knowing people's goals. Like, it just fills my soul. Like, I was chatting with a friend last week, and she, said, I got a lot of things, done and checked off my list, for my goals. And I go, that's awesome. You're doing the things, but tell me about these goals. I want to know now what these goals are, and if I can help in any way, like, it's just all the excitement. Okay. So anyways, so now, do you remember what the first word was for what J stands for in joy? Jump. We're going to jump over ourselves. So what does that mean? Is that jumping physically? Is that jumping mentally? Is that jumping emotionally? Like, all the ways we're going to jump. Like, I had you guys start off with jumping jacks. And I gave you a choice if you wanted to do them or not. Because as we kind of move along here, everything is a choice. It is your choice. Okay? You have the power. You hold the choice power within yourself. We've got to unlock it. We've got to overcome it, right? So, jump. Time to jump into the unknown. It's time to take a leap of faith. It's time to take some risks. It's time to pull the trigger. It's time to get out of your own way. Okay? It's time to take action now. Why are we waiting around? And what are we waiting for? Really, what are we waiting for? There's no better time, right? We have nothing but time. 1,440 minutes a day. We all have the same amount of time when it comes to that. How are you spending your time? I'm getting a little bit off track here. So, maybe some of you are waiting for the perfect moment. Well, sorry, that's not probably going to happen. You're waiting for your ducks to get in a row. Well, what are you doing? Like, are those ducks getting in a row, or are they not? We have to be realistic. Okay, it comes down to being realistic, especially when you're setting your goals, right? Have you probably heard of SMART goals? That could be a whole other discussion. We're not going to get into setting specific goals, but it's about being realistic, setting realistic expectations with yourself. Okay. All right. So yeah, like I said, time to start now. So we need to be fearless, right? We got to be fearless in the pursuit of accomplishing our dreams, accomplishing what we want. What is our desired outcome? Um, and now, how are you going to push yourself forward? How are you going to jump towards what you want? How are you going to move to the next level? How are you going to get out of your comfort zone? So I am out of my comfort zone right now. You guys probably wouldn't even know. Um, and going back to the choice topic, which is going to be coming up a lot, in any given moment, we always have two choices. We can step forward into growth, stepping into out of our comfort zone, or we can step back into safety, into our comfort zone. And what are we getting there? What are we getting in our comfort zone besides comfort? So the next powerful question is, what are you willing to do? The choices and decisions are all up to you. What are you willing to do? Ultimately, it comes down to one simple thing. How bad do you want it? So, I had you guys name your goal, or you wrote down your goal, maybe a big goal. It's your life goal. Now write down the one single next step towards achieving that goal, that dream. We only live once. So again, start now. Time to jump into the unknown. Take a risk. Pull the trigger. What are you waiting for? So, talked about jumping. We talked about doing. Now, like I said in the beginning, it's easier said than done because there's a lot of things holding us back. There's a lot of things that we have to overcome. What are those things? How are you going to overcome them? Now I'm talking about fears. I'm talking about limiting beliefs. Those hold us back big time. And so we're going to go over some few common ones that I see, that I hear about. But first, let's start with awareness. So here's some questions for you now, when it kind of to help create more awareness for you. So what are the things you're telling yourself? What are your fears? What are your limiting beliefs? How do you self-sabotage? This is a huge one. I did it the other day, but you know what? The more in tune I'm getting with the shit in my head, the more I'm able to stop, pause, reflect, direct myself. Okay, so real quick, this could be a whole other topic of self-sabotage. If you don't know how you self-sabotage, that's what I'm talking about. This is the first step, awareness. So if you have not read the book Stop Doing That Shit by Gary John Bishop, order it on Amazon now. I'll wait. You can go and check it out. Get it in a couple days probably. I also did a YouTube video. I'll post my YouTube channel in here on what I got out of his book. And I finally realized how I've been self-sabotaging and the shit I tell myself in my head for my whole life. So just a little bit of insight about me is the way I self-sabotage a couple ways is telling myself that I don't matter and people don't care. So when you have those limiting beliefs in your head, it's very difficult for me to even ask for help and things like that. And so anyways, without going too far into it, you can go watch my YouTube video to get a little bit deeper if you want. It starts with that. So figure out how you are self-sabotaging, figure out your fears, figure out your limiting beliefs, okay? And make a list, just make a nasty list of all of them, okay? So, you know, and then it ultimately comes down to how are you convincing your mind of the choices and actions you're making, okay? You know, how do you decide what is the right thing to do? And how do you know it's the right thing? What makes you create excuses? And why do you make those excuses in the first place? So pretty much, how are you justifying your values and belief system? How are you justifying your values and your belief system? What are your values? What is your belief system? Okay. So is there something that you're wanting to show or prove to be right or reasonable? The definition of justification. Okay. And we'll get into that a little bit later on. Like right now. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're keeping up with me. Okay. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. Okay, we're doing good. All right, so let's talk about values and belief systems a little bit more. I've done some really cool exercises when it comes to identifying my values. And so if you are feeling stuck in the value department, I would implore you to go out and find some value exercises that you can do. So with making decisions and taking action, we want to align our values and belief system with those actions, with those choices, with those decisions, so they can justify what our desires, dreams, and goals are, right? Like, because when we think about justify or justification, I always kind of thought about it in like a negative way. But why can't we make it a positive way? Why can't it be for the good? And so this is kind of what I'm talking about. You know, taking what we believe in, what we value in, and aligning it, matching it with our actions, what we decide. And does it get us to is going to get us closer to our desired goals, our desired outcome, our dream? Hopefully the answer is yes. And if not, why? So does this action, choice, decision align with what I value, believe in? And will it get me closer to my desired dream, goal, outcome? If you're feeling stuck with deciding what to do, that's your formula, okay? Your formula is actions, what you're thinking about doing. Now, well, I'm thinking about doing this. Now, what are my values? Okay, does that action and value match up? Does it make sense? And is it going to get me closer to my dream? If those are all in alignment, then ding, 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 right? So here's a scenario. Let's say I want to lose 20 pounds. And I've had a really stressful day. You know, one of those bomber days, just nothing seemed to go right. And, you know, I had this goal to, you know, work out, but since I had a stressful day, I didn't really feel like, working out. And so I think I'm just going to veg on the couch with, some chips, candy, and do that instead, you know, pretty much emotional eat. Um, so when we talk about our formula, going back to the actions, so I'm talking about my action is going to be skipping my workout, sitting on the couch, eating junk food. So does that align with my values? Well, I didn't name what this person's values was, but they said they want to lose 20 pounds. We'll say that that's the dream. So, you know, probably you need to be looking more into uh, a better solution on how you can manage that. So that's just one scenario. So now let's turn this around into another example of how this formula is going to work when it comes to actions, values, and dreams all being in alignment. Okay, so this is my statement that matches my perfect formula. Okay, so I exercise 5 times a week and enjoy nourishing my body with healthy foods because loving my body is important to me, and plus it helps me feel better physically and mentally. Okay, so that sounds nice. That sounds good, right? So that justification is helping me move towards what I want to accomplish, which is maintaining a healthy lifestyle. I just want to live my life and be healthy and feel good. So I keep doing the things that's going to get me there. Huh. Wow. Um Again, easier said than done. So it's ultimately when you decide to do something for your own positive good, no matter what anyone else thinks or says. I've had to really get over what anybody else thinks or says or what I think they think. Um, being a woman in the bodybuilder world and not having a lot of friends who are also within that community and that world, they might not understand. So they might, and this is me making up stories maybe in my head, they're like, well, why do you want to be all like manly, Sarah, uh, and stuff like that. And I don't care. If you think I'm manly, cool. You know, that's why you don't have my body. So, anyways, so our mind is always going to believe everything you tell it. Okay. So what I just said, I guess I believe in some way that you guys all think I'm uh, manly and gross because I want to have muscles and show them off on stage. Okay. But we need to feed our mind with some faith. We need to feed it with some truth, and we need to feed it with some love. So now to kind of overcome what I just said with my limiting belief of you guys all think that I'm manly and whatnot, is that's not simply true. It's not. I know it's not. And I know when I feed myself with love that you guys are there for me. You guys are there for, to support me. I just have to think about how many people showed up in their Trotsky Tribe shirts to, my bodybuilding shows. And so that's when I'm able to feed my mind with the truth and love. So I just need to catch myself thinking those bad thoughts and replace it with some better ones. So it takes work, it takes practice, and it takes awareness, right? So, okay, so kind of let's go more into some more common fears or limiting beliefs that may be getting in your way. So I think the first one here is failure. So the fear of failure is usually the reason that holds you back, right? We don't want to fail. And I think it all comes down to, well, how do you look at failure? You know,
I used to think that failure was so bad and you avoid it at all costs until I started um, seeing it in a way of it's an opportunity for growth and learning. Um, so we used to do this thing at Pickett Street, Fail Forward Fridays, and we would, talk about a failure that we made. Maybe it was small, maybe it was big, whatever. Like we talked about it. And it kind of created a space where, it was okay. We're owning our mistakes and we're learning from them. And it's a part of life. We're all human. We can't be perfect every part of the way, right? So what if we did our best to expect failure? Is a question that I came up with. What if we expect to fail? I'm expecting to fail every day somehow. Like, oh my gosh, let me fail so I can like learn something. Like when you harness onto that mindset, it's just super cool. So, our failures lead to learning. So let our failures help us grow, right? Okay, that's what we want, right? We want to grow, we want to get better, right? It starts with failure. Fall down, pick yourself back up. You've heard that with like little kids, they're just never stopping. Okay, so second fear, second limiting belief. Are you a perfectionist? Are you not allowing yourself to move forward because of perfectionism? What will happen if you take action when everything isn't perfect? What's going to happen? What's the worst that can happen? You know, um, if you're a perfectionist, you know, really challenge yourself to give up the ridiculous idea that everything has to be perfect all the time. Okay? So when we are able to do that, we're working on cultivating our self compassion, which is really pretty cool. So a lot of these things are going to be like letting go of failure, letting go of making mistakes, letting go of needing everything to be perfect. Like I said in the beginning, are you waiting for your ducks to be all in a row? Um, Sometimes it might make sense, but really, let's look at it. Influence, influence, outside influence, external influence, people influence. So, my first question for this influence chunk is your goal your own, or did someone else create it for you? There's nothing more I hate than when somebody gives me a goal. If it can't be my own, then I'm not going to want it the same way. I'm not going to get after it the same way. It's, yeah. So make sure your goals are your own and not somebody else's. And then when it comes to influence too with others, do we are we seeking the validation from others? Do we need approval for what we're doing from others? Certainly nobody's gonna approve for me to go up on stage, and if they are, bye, you're out of my life. um and if we are seeking for that approval or validation of others, why? This was kind of like a tough one for me, like I, and I kind of, when I was thinking about it, I think that I like getting the approval or validation of others because in a way I think I connect that to some kind of like words of affirmation. Like they're telling me I'm doing great, yes, go do it, like, when it comes to that. um but anyways, so so get in your own mind and start allowing yourself to self discover what you really want and what you really need without any kind of outside influences. So, letting go of what people think, and stop comparing yourself to other people. This is a big one. It's a big one. So just We are our own self. We're at this starting point. You can't compare yourself to someone that has been doing what you want to do for much longer, right? I can't compare myself to, a pro bodybuilder that's going to the Olympia stage in Vegas, like that's been doing it for, over 5 years, just I had to get over that. That's just one example for me personally, okay? So when we are able to let go of what other people think, stop comparing ourselves to other people, we're working on creating or cultivating creativity and also authenticity. Okay, let's be our own self and do our own way. Ugh, I love that. Okay, so another one for when you're stuck and need to overcome some things. This was a big, big, big one for me. Remember why you're doing it. So this has helped me push forward in many instances. Like I had to remind myself on a daily basis, why am I doing this? Why do I want this? And we don't like to do things for no reason, right? A lot of us like to know the why behind what we're doing, how we're doing it, and just everything, right? It gets us more in tune to our feelings and it makes it more purposeful. It just makes it much more meaningful to keep moving forward for sure. So once we've reminded ourselves on why we're doing this, which is a goal that you have, right? Another way to help you overcome things or keep you moving forward is think about the outcome. Okay? So, what are you going to get from doing this? Think about the outcome. Visualize. Visualize your best self. And what would they be doing? How would they be doing it? And then think about the outcome. How is it going to feel? How are you going to feel when it's been accomplished? Again, getting in tune with those feelings, making this mean something. Okay? So thinking about everything we need to do to get to our desired outcome can be very overwhelming and paralyzing. Because it's like, I have to do all these things. How am I going to do it? Do one thing at a time, man. One thing at a time. Chunk it down. Make little mini baby step goals. Do one thing at a time. Prioritize your time. What needs done first. Time block. Focus on the important stuff. Prioritizing time blocking, and then again, align your values with the decisions you make. And then while we're working towards our outcome here, another important factor is, are you enjoying the process along the way? So, are you outcome driven or are you process driven? Process driven people are going to be more successful. And they're enjoying the journey along the way. They're enjoying the work, the hustle that it takes to get there. Because if you aren't, you're going to give up. You're going to get discouraged. So if you're not enjoying that grind, it's going to be really hard to kind of keep pushing forward when you get stuck. Love what you do and do what you love. Do what makes you happy. So we'll kind of get more into that here soon too. Okay, so last one here for the fears and limiting beliefs and overcoming them is control. Do you need to be in control of everything? And if you do, why? So there's many reasons we like to be in control. So it may be because of fear, jealousy, insecurities, afraid that your beliefs are being threatened, afraid of making mistakes which look bad in front of others. You feel scared that you won't be able to deal with change or uncertainty. So all those things. So ultimately, you want to dominate the things in your own way, which is good to take charge. But when it gets too much, like, okay, let's take a look at this and maybe take a step back, give yourself some grace, and let go of the need to control everything. I know this is hard, but just what would it look like if you did? What would happen? We can't always plan for things to go our way, but we can prepare for them. Okay, so identifying what the next steps are that you can take that are in your control, and then just embracing the fact of there's a lot of unknowns and there's a lot of uncertainty. So embrace the uncertainty, which is one of Gary John Bishop's assertions in his first book of Unfuck Yourself. So if you haven't read any of Gary John Bishop's books, literally go to Amazon right now and order them. And I did a YouTube on his first one too, on Unfuck Yourself. Okay, so where are we? So embracing the unknown, yes. And so when we work on embracing the unknown and the uncertainty, we're working on cultivating our intuition and trusting faith. We're putting it in the hands of everything will work its way out. We don't need to take control. We can relax. And I think giving yourself grace is a big one too. I think a lot of people need to do more of that. So, again, so summing up the overcoming piece of this is a lot of this has to do with letting go. So cue the Frozen theme song. Let go. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. And so if you're having trouble with letting go, here's some things you can ask yourself. How is this fear or limiting belief serving me? What is the highest intention of this fear or limiting belief? So keep asking those questions. Okay? And what will you decide to let go of? What do you need to let go of? How are you going to do that? Okay? All right. So, third part here. So we talked about jumping. We talked about overcoming. And now we're going to talk about you, yourself. Let's talk about you. You. All right. So, the first one is ownership. Do you own your own truth? Do you own your own story? Our story is what gives our power. So your story might seem boring and ordinary to yourself because that's what you've been living and knowing your whole life. But to somebody else, it's inspiring, it's encouraging, it's empowering, it's uplifting, it's amazing hearing other people's stories. So let your story shine. So I was reminded of this. So I did another YouTube on my sobriety story. And so you can go watch that as well if you want to dig into me and my sober life a little bit more. Um, and I'm working on owning my story, and I'm working on sharing it, because the thing is, you never know who needs to hear it. Okay, you never know who you're going to touch, who you're going to impact, and that's a really cool thing. And if you guys have Netflix, Michelle Obama's documentary Becoming, oh my gosh, it's so good. And so she reminded me of it when I watched it the other night, is that our story is what gives our power. And that's so freaking cool to me. The power is within all of us. Gosh, you just need to wake up and listen. Okay, so speaking of listening to that voice inside our heads, your demons, if you want to call them that, you know, we're super harsh on ourselves. We're our number one critic. And so when we just talked about owning our story, the question is, do you own your demons as well? You know, a way we can work on overcoming our inner demons is by acknowledging them, giving them love, right? So when I catch myself, my demon talk, okay, yeah, and I love you too. So, overcoming our inner demons by acknowledging them and giving them love, befriending our demons in a way. Mark Manson did an article on this. I posted on my Facebook a while ago. It was really good about talking about befriending your demons, and kind of gave me this idea, because when we befriend our demons, it represents accepting the worst part of ourselves. And when we can do that, we develop compassion for ourselves. I think that's just super cool. We're always going to have that, demon, that little guy, girl, woman, whatever, talking. And we just have to acknowledge them. Okay, it's there. And then now what? Because now what is what matters, okay? So talking about you now, music is another big uplifting thing you can do for yourself. So did you know that music is heart healthy? I just love that. So let me kind of read something here, as I've been reading my notes this whole time. So research has shown that blood flows more easily when music is played. It elevates the mood. It can boost the brain's production of hormone dopamine. It reduces stress, relieves symptoms of depression, stimulates memories, and manages and eases pain. Oh my gosh, when I read that list about how music, what it can do for us, like scientifically, it made it just so cool. I love that. And so what my action for you with music would be to, let music move your soul. Really, lyrics are a super cool thing for me to connect with. I have playlists of certain types of music, or like what I would, I guess, describe as the playlist of my life. So, and some of them are dark, some of them are uplifting, and so just make some playlists. Put some favorite like songs together, and I'm sure most of you have playlists, but maybe create a playlist that is all to do with like family memories or something. So anyways, yeah. So listen to some music. Okay. Just one more thing about music. When it comes to like musical instruments too, uh, play it. You know, David Breckheimer, he has his guitar jamming like every single day, and I just love it. It just makes me so happy. So just blast the music, play your instrument, you know? He's figured out that that fills his soul, and so he does it. Like, this is what this is all about. It brings him joy. So he just popped on here, so that's why I kind of started talking about him. So, anyways, so enough about music. So, the next one is that we need to do for ourselves is move. This is a big one, you guys. Obviously, like I'm the, ambassador of movement. That's kind of cool sounding. So we get energy from being active, right? We get the blood flowing, the oxygen going, like, our body isn't made to sit at a computer and work for hours at a time. Like, I used to do that. And now that I don't anymore, like, I don't know how I did it. Like, so, there's a close relationship between our mental and physical health. So when one suffers, so does the other. That's why, they go hand in hand. We need to have the physical, activity as well as that mental stimulation. Staying healthy helps you stay resilient. Okay? So, and if you don't work out right now at all, I'm not telling you to go start working out every single day, eat 5 times a week. Start off with 1 and do that. Get comfortable with that. Then get comfortable with adding another day. Start off small. Start off something that's going to be easy and manageable and sustainable for you. I cannot talk enough about sustainability. Okay? So, do some jumping jacks like we just did in the beginning. 10 jumping jacks. Just very simple exercises. Maybe you do some stretching because you have tight hamstrings. Maybe you start doing some yoga. I've been started to do some mobility work for my hips, my spine, my shoulders, and it feels so good. Going for a walk, getting some fresh air. And then another fun one is, since you're listening to the music that I told you, have a dance party. Oh my gosh, I've been dancing so much and it's so fun. Like, I'm just like, who am I? An interpretive dance is my thing. I'm gonna start like some kind of interpretive dance movement or something. I'm sure, yeah. Anyways, onward, moving on from movement. Okay, another one I want to touch on when it comes to doing things for yourself is meditate. So meditation, there's so many benefits. If you didn't watch Margaret's meditation 101 meditation, go back and watch that. She lists off all the benefits of meditation and what it's done for her and everything. It's just keep it simple. Start with short amount of times. Find somewhere quiet and focus on your breathing. You could either do guided with an app. There's a lot of free apps out there, or just, like I said, sit somewhere quiet and focus on your breathing. Set an alarm on your phone for like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. So the point of, just real quick, a benefit of meditation is when we are focusing on taking those deep breaths, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which balances out the sympathetic nervous system. And that's how it works to calm us down. So if you have a lot of stress, seriously look into doing some meditation, and just don't do it once. Like, keep going, and trust me. Trust me. Okay? Sleep is another one. It makes me super sad when I talk to a lot of people and they struggle with sleep. They struggle with getting quality sleep. They can't get into the REM cycle. They can't dream. And I'm not giving any advice, or I don't have the cure for if you have trouble with sleeping. There's many multiple things that probably go into it. But getting quality sleep is super important. It sharpens our brain. It levels our emotions. So without enough rest, we don't have, the physical or mental energy to do what we want to do or what we need to do. So maybe it's something like creating a bedtime routine. I know that what I've tried to do is not be on my phone so much while laying in bed. If I can just like maybe read for 5 or 10 minutes, my eyes start to get like really like heavy. I'm like, yes, okay, time for bed now. So just try some things, because what you're already doing right now isn't working. Okay, so nutrition. So chronic stress actually robs your body of critical nutrients. When I found that out, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sad. So first of all, we need to manage our stress so our body can keep its nutrients that it needs. But then going into nutrition, how are you feeding yourself? How are you fueling yourself? We talked about the scenario with the junk food and the candy and chips. Is that you? Is that every night? Like, I'll approve for one day of that behavior. But when it's repetitive, you are abusing yourself. You are abusing your body. Simple. So, eating healthy, making proper nutrition decisions, is going to help you fuel your body with the strength and energy it needs. It's gonna help you keeping moving forward, both physically and mentally. When I eat like crap, I feel like crap. I mentioned that I'm sober. I'm actually 3 years, 4 months sober today. And when I eat like crap, it feels like a hangover has taken me over, And so it reminds me, like, I can't keep doing this because my body doesn't like it. You need to pay attention to those warning signs, how your body is responding to what you're giving it. So enough about that. Okay, so two more things, and then we'll go on to something else. Hope you guys are doing well. I see only a couple people watching right now. So journal. So do you journal? Do you journal? Are you expressing your emotions in writing? I love to free flow journal. I don't need prompts or anything like that. But if you do, maybe start with writing down what you're grateful for. Writing down a positive affirmation for yourself. Write down something great that happened today. And then, like I said, the affirmations. If I started off doing affirmations when I first got sober. And I recorded my voice saying about close to 50 affirmations. And I listened to it for like a whole year. And it did improve my self-confidence in a lot of ways. And so if you haven't tried it, don't knock it. I knocked it when I didn't want to try it. And so, all right, so let's talk about others. So one thing I've realized when it comes to ourself and what we need is we need others. So especially one thing I realized through this quarantine specifically is how important people are. I need people in my life. People need me in their life. And we all just need each other. We need to lift each other up. We need those friends. We need that family. We need that tribe, that community, like what we've built here in Operation Tungsten Light. We need mentors. We need leaders. Um, yeah, just people are so important. So let me see where I'm at here. So going on about others, I'm sitting on my yoga ball just in case, or stability ball in case anybody's wondering. And still drinking my coffee. So if you're stuck on a decision, um, or whatnot, maybe phone a friend. Phone a friend. Take them through your scenario. Take them through your thoughts. Don't be afraid to ask for help like me. Getting a third party perspective can help for you to think of things in a different way. Getting that perspective can help. Maybe you haven't thought about that before. Like, oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that before. I was talking to my sister about something yesterday, and she said something, and I was like, oh man, I hadn't thought about that before. We were talking about forgiveness, and then she goes, maybe it's not about forgiveness, maybe it's about acceptance. And so anyways, so when it comes to others and it comes to the people in your life, make sure you surround yourself with those people who are encouraging, that hold you accountable, that are positive, people that you can learn from. I wanna be like Margaret. Okay, well, what's Margaret doing? I gotta have her in my life. um, so yeah, connecting with people on a regular basis is going to be really important. Especially now, being isolated. I feel like I'm talking to myself right now. Barely anybody's watching. I just want to connect with you guys, and I just want to make a difference. Okay, so what when it comes to the ones that we are living with, what are we doing for them in this time? Are they receiving our love via their love language? Are we communicating how we want to receive our love? Um, Communicate with your family. What do they need? And tell them what you need. Santi, I really need you to make the chicken tonight while I'm training this client so that, we can have dinner tonight. Um, because if I go downstairs not having asked that or said anything, I'm going to be mad. Well, I can't be mad at him because I never voiced what I needed in the first place. So, um, so just be generous. Be generous with your time, with your energy, with your value that you're providing to others. Sometimes it's just simply listening and showing compassion, being patient and kind. Okay? Like, let's be like cool human beings. um, yeah, I'm learning a lot out of talking through this presentation, so I hope you are too. This is for you, and this is also for me. We're, like I said in the beginning, we're all just trying to be better people, in some way. So my action for you when it comes to others is, connect with at least one person a day. I think that's doable, right? Connect with one person a day. It could be over text, video chat, phone, email, social media. Send what I've been doing is sending simple texts to the people I've been thinking about. So yesterday was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of you guys. I hope you had a beautiful, wonderful weekend. And Santi and I were sitting down for breakfast, and he goes, okay, I texted, this person, happy Mother's Day. And I'm just like, oh my God, how sweet are you? Like now I gotta be blowing people up and texting people about Happy Mother's Day. Like he's so thoughtful and like generous. And so um, that's what I'm working towards, is being a better person. So yeah. Um, yeah, write thank you notes, in which I received a wonderful thank you note from somebody last week. It just made my day. Like, seriously, just made my day. So, send thank you notes, call a friend, really listen with compassion how they're doing. Ask them how they're doing, how they're truly doing, and then tell them how you're truly doing, and just cultivate some compassion, people. Like, yeah, let's do it. And so, just when it comes to others too, just one last takeaway here, cherish every moment. Everything we're doing has the capability of creating a beautiful memory. And so that's what our life is going to be filled with when it gets to the end, is just memories. And I want a lot of good memories. And so just enjoy what you do and don't live a life with regret. Um, I hate that word regret. So don't do stuff you regret, or do stuff that you will regret not doing. Okay? Just get after it, go after it. Okay. So, some more you work. This went a lot longer than I thought it was going to, so I appreciate anybody who has actually watched this whole entire thing. Um, Maybe I should have chunked this down. I warned you in the beginning that it was going to be a lot of information to digest. I feel like it's a lot of great stuff. Okay, so bear with me. Like, okay, if you need to get up, stretch, move around. Okay, so homework or stuff for you to work on while you're at home. Oh my gosh, that just okay. Uh, what is one thing you can do for yourself? What is your soul asking for? Is your soul begging for anything? Tap into your intuition and ask. Pay attention and notice what comes up. So give yourself what your mind, body, and soul needs to become a better person. I'm not talking about doing work here. I'm talking whatever makes sense for you to become that better human being. What do you visualize for yourself in the next day, in the next week, in the next month? Um, I know it might be hard right now, so focus on every day at a time. That's okay. Ask yourself, what do you need right now? Maybe after this, all I really need is to just go lay down outside in the sun and be quiet for 5 minutes because I've been talking for over an hour straight. um, which is okay. I still have plenty of coffee. So yeah, what do you need? What do you need right now? Take time to do one thing for yourself today. No matter if it's small, big, do something for yourself. When we can take care of ourselves, we can show up in a better way for others, okay? Um, so what do you love? What are you passionate about? Make a list of the things you love. Just what do you love? I love sweatpants. Okay, so I'll wear some sweatpants when it's not freaking 80 degrees outside. I love candles. Okay, so I'll light a candle. I love eating. Okay, I'm going to go make a healthy snack in a little bit here. So just do the things that you love. Surround yourself with the things you love. Listen to your favorite song every day on repeat if you have to. Just cultivate some loving things in your life, okay? So maybe find a creative outlet. So are you open to trying new things? When was the last time you tried something new or learned something new? Um, keeping an open heart and mind, allows space for opportunities and perspectives. Okay? Um, so be open to trying new things, okay? I really wanted to be able to learn to play the ukulele, and then I did like one YouTube and I gave up. Um, but maybe I tried, right? That's okay. Um, Santi has juggle balls. I don't know what you like to juggle, and I'm like, so that's kind of something I've been thinking, like, maybe can I juggle? Um, I'm fine with just sticking with my handstands. Okay, try a new recipe. Either way, find a creative outlet and just have some fun. Okay. Now, are you laughing every day? Laughter is the best medicine. Laughter relaxes the whole body. It triggers the release of endorphins, and it boosts the immune system. Another sciencey fact about laughter, that's just so cool. I'm really weird when it comes to laughing. Like, I can't explain it. Santi will get on me, like, we'll be watching something, and he goes, "How do you not think that's funny? How come you're not laughing out loud?" Um, and I'll tell you the show that I watched that actually made me laugh out loud way more than I thought, and it was just corny. It's The Good Place on Netflix with Kristen Bell. I think Kristen Bell. Um, I don't know why. It just makes me like crack up. Like it's just kind of like goofy and corny. Anyways, make sure you laugh every day. So watch a stand-up comedy. Follow a meme. Like Antoinette Perez put some great memes out there. Um, Follow some stuff on Reddit or on Instagram. I downloaded a joke app with super corny like jokes. Just Google some dad jokes or something, right? So yeah, make sure you laugh every day. And then this kind of went into like the things you love, but like thinking about it in a different way. What makes you say yay? What puts a big smile on your face? Sometimes it's like the little things, right? So those little things add up to a big life. Okay? So let's live life to the fullest with no regrets, as I said before. Do the things we love what we do what makes us happy. So when I kind of got done compiling all this stuff, I was like, a lot of this stuff is, self-care. And, it is about self-care. So we need to master self-care. Doing the things in our life that's going to cultivate joy. Because we want joy, right? We want the happiness. We're on that journey. We're on the path. We're living and breathing. Let's make most out of life. Like, okay? So this all takes work. It's all practice. And anything that you're trying to make a habit, practice, you're going to have to use some self-discipline. The more time goes on, the more it will become normal feeling. And so that habit has been instilled when you're at that point. And so that's when it can start to become a default setting of our life. And so I'll leave you with a couple things. Are you willing to put in the work? Start with what you are willing to do. And start with one thing. And start your joy journey today. Okay, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I super appreciate it. I hope this was helpful and impacted someone. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, thoughts at all. I would love to connect and Have a happy rest of your day.